So welcome to the second soundtrack instructional video. In order to get past the beginning of this video, what you need to have done is recorded your bass line for all three 8-bar sets of the chord sequence. So if you haven't done that, that is, if your screen doesn't look like this, then you need to go back to video 1 and have a look. So you'll need to have signed up the soundtrack, you'll need to have downloaded the MIDI files and the hip hop beat, you need to have logged on to soundtrack with the grade 1 music production task in Teams, set BPM to 87, imported the hip hop beat first, then the 3 chord sequences, shortened the 3 chord sequences by removing all the empty space, put them in the right place and looped them so they're 8 bars long, and composed and keyed in whatever way the 3 bass lines. So if you haven't done that, go back to video 1. And if you have done that, well done. Listing it actually makes it sound like a huge amount of work, and it is. Congratulations on that. As I said at the end of the last video, if you need to run this by your teacher because you're unsure, now's a great time to do this. But actually what you need to do now is, for the coursework task, is to put some melody work in there. So the bass lines we put in should be all really low notes that are lower than the chord sequences. So just play through and check that it is and it makes sense. In order to write a melody, we're going to want another instrument, and this time you can choose keys, guitar, synth, or even orchestral. I'm going to go for a guitar for my first melody, and I'm going to go for a rock guitar called 1984. You can choose your own. And then in exactly the same way as I did with the bass line, but only for 2 of these chord sequences, I'm going to either play in or type in, using the piano roll, a melody. So as you've done this with the bass line, you can certainly do this with the melody. The thing I would say is, if your bass line is really complicated, you'll want a very simple melody. So if you've got a bass line that's got some quite quick notes in it, make your melody the opposite, several long notes, and maybe something uneven, like 1 long note and then a little bit of detail at the end. And if you've got lots of long notes in your bass line, you want a more detailed, more complicated melody line. So if you go away and write those, and just pause this video and come back when you've done that. And once you've recorded those, you'll record 2, but I only recorded 1 for the time being. Probably you've made it just a little bit too long and it crosses over into the next chord sequence. All you do is shorten it by dragging the bottom icon over to the left. And then that's fine. There shouldn't be any looping in your melody because it should be 1 long 8-bar melody. And when you've written 2 of those, it'll look something like this, and the note entry element of your piece is now done. Now, given it's taken nearly 20 minutes of video for us to get here, this is probably a couple of lessons work. So don't move on now until you've checked it, because the next thing you're going to do is mastering it. That means you are going to make the final copy on which you can't really make any further edits, and I'll show you how that works in a second. So what you need to do now really is to make sure that all of this is as you want it. So make sure everything's the right number of bars, of course, but if there's even 1 note that doesn't seem quite right, go down into the piano roll and see if you can work out why that is that it doesn't really work. You can zoom in further in the piano roll or zoom out to see more of the structure of your piece using the plus and minus icons here. And it might just be that this note you wanted to carry on a little bit. So make it carry on, and this one. And you can make every note just carry on a little bit to make an echo. Or it might be that you decide that this note is actually a tiny bit too early and you need to make it later. Because it needs to go there, and you're meant to press that one there. And you can drag them about. Make it so it's exactly how you want it. Once you've done that, it's time to actually make the final copy. So what you do to make the final copy is two things. The examiner, if it's sent off for coursework, or your teacher, if it's me, needs to be able to do two things. We need to be able to see it, and we need to be able to hear it. Now, actually, I can just look at Soundtrap and see that. But the way that you finalize a piece of music in this style, anything that comes out of a door, is to create a wave file of it. So first of all, I'm going to close that so we've got a fuller view of everything. I want to make the screen as full as possible of all the work. And the first thing I want to do actually is I want to take a screenshot. Okay. So the first thing we'll do is to export this as a screenshot. So if you go down to the Start menu, and I realise you can't see me typing this, but if you type Snipping Tool, it'll open this little app. You click New, and you just select everything on that screen. And in fact, you can cut a bit out if it's not actually part of your piece, but make sure you include the bar numbers at the top. And then that gives you a new window, a Snipping Tool window, which has the file in it, and you can save it as. So File menu, Save As, and then you can call it Grade 1 Music Coursework. And then it's helpful if you can put your surname as well. And then you click Save. You then head over into Teams and find the correct task, and you click the Attach button. Click Upload from this device, and there you go. You can upload that file. You'll notice that's actually the wrong task because I haven't actually set you the task for this coursework yet, so I can't add anything to it. Then you also need to export the audio file, and that's in Soundtrap File, Export. You'll see there are lots of options there. It's not any of those, okay? Because that's if you're exporting just those tracks. You'll notice, interestingly, export MIDI tracks to flat.io. So you can actually export all of the chord sequences to flat, which I know you've already used earlier in the year, and see what the notes are there. What we're looking for is download mix. So you click on that. Do you want to master? Yes, you do. It'll take a few moments to do that. And then once it's done it, it will put it in your downloads folder. So what you do is go back to Teams, attach another file, upload from this device. This time you go to downloads, there's Grade 1 Music Production, upload that, and then once that's uploaded, you'll see this bar will take a while. You then click hand in. It will say hand in, not hand in late, I'm sure. When you actually got the right one in front of you. And once that's done, you can really sit back a bit and relax. You've done it. Well done. Listen to it. Send it to other people. You can do that either by sending them that WAV file that you've generated, or you can click the share button up here in Soundtrap, and then they'll be able to look at it. But bear in mind, if you do that in Soundtrap, they can make changes to your project. So maybe you want to do some more experimenting with this piece. Maybe you want to set up your own new piece. Soundtrap is actually totally open to you. You can create podcasts in here as well as pieces of music. And this is essentially the paid-for premium version. And because you're at Stonyhurst, you've already got that for free. I say for free. We're paying for it for you for the whole of the rest of the year. So please do have a play with it and use it for whatever projects you would like. Thank you very much for watching and listening. I hope you've enjoyed putting this work together. I'm looking forward to hearing what you've come up with.